Deep within the rainforest of Palenque, a Mayan jaguar priest screams in agony as a toxic hallucinogenic enema of fermented balche and toad venom floods his bloodstream. If his drug-induced vision fails to predict the upcoming war accurately, the king will not just ignore him. He will drag the priest to the altar and cut out his beating heart. To the ancient Maya, the future was not a concept to be guessed, but a literal physical realm controlled by demanding underworld gods. Accessing this realm required a specialist known as a chilam, or jaguar priest, who acted as a living portal between the living and the dead. But on this night in Palenque, the air is thick with humidity and terror as the priest prepares for a ritual designed to shatter his sanity. He begins by fasting for days, purifying his body until his mind is fragile and highly susceptible to suggestion. As the ceremony commences, assistants prepare the sacred balche, a highly intoxicating mead brewed from the bark of the loncocarpus tree. But drinking this sweet, fermented mixture is not enough to achieve the violent, deep trance required for state-level prophecy. To bypass the stomach's natural defense of vomiting, the Maya developed a highly efficient, stomach-churning method of administration. They utilized clay enema tubes to inject the highly toxic mixtures directly into the bowels, ensuring instant absorption into the bloodstream. To make the balche even more potent, the priests infuse it with the milky secretions of the Bufo marinus toad. This venom contains bufotenine, a powerful hallucinogen that mimics the effects of a near-death experience. As the liquid is administered, the priest's body immediately reacts to the massive chemical shock. His heart rate skyrockets, his muscles spasm violently, and his body temperature plunges as the toxins take hold. In this state of extreme physiological distress, the physical temple of Palenque begins to fade from his consciousness. The priest is dragged into the terrifying depths of Xibalba, the Maya underworld, populated by skeletal lords of death. Here, he must confront the Jaguar gods of war and demand to know the outcome of the kingdom's next military campaign. While the priest is trapped in this drug-induced nightmare, the king of Palenque waits patiently outside the sanctuary. The king's entire foreign policy, his alliances, and his military strategy depend entirely on what the priest hears in his madness. If the gods promise victory, the king will mobilize thousands of warriors to march into the dense jungle. But the pressure on the convulsing priest is immense because the king is not a passive listener. The Maya elite recorded these prophecies on limestone stele, creating permanent public monuments to the gods' promises. This meant that if a battle was lost, the entire city would know the jaguar priest had failed his sacred duty. In Mayan society, a false prophet was considered a traitor who had either lied or been rejected by the underworld lords. The punishment for this spiritual failure was swift, bloody, and absolute. The failed priest would find himself bound on the very same altar where he once performed rituals, looking up at the sky. With a single strike of an obsidian blade, his chest would be opened to appease the gods he had misrepresented. Therefore, survival for the chilam depended on his ability to craft a prophecy that was both strategically wise and spiritually convincing. As the drug peak finally begins to subside, the priest begins to mutter incoherent words to his scribes. Every gasp, every groan, and every twitch of his limbs is carefully noted as a divine message. The scribes translate these drug-fueled vocalizations into a poetic, highly coded political mandate. If the priest correctly reads the political room, his prophecy will align perfectly with the king's secret military ambitions. By dawn, the poison has worked its way through his system, leaving him physically broken but spiritually victorious. He has survived the night, escaped the horrors of Xibalba, and secured his place in the temple hierarchy for another season. But the scars on his psyche and the toxic toll on his organs are permanent reminders of the price of his power. This extreme ritual shows that Mayan leadership was never just about brute military force. It was a delicate, terrifying tightrope walk of spiritual theater, where rulers demanded absolute cosmic verification for their actions. The next time you look at the majestic ruins of Palenque, remember, they were not just cold stone monuments. They were the arenas of a terrifying psychological reality, where human lives were traded daily for a fleeting glimpse of tomorrow.